tight rein on economies is by contracting the money supply. So they never allow enough money to be out there to run the whole economy, and therefore people have to borrow. And that starts this whole pyramid or Ponzi scheme where you have to have more and more borrowers to support the money supply. So you could say that the Bank for International Settlements is responsible for all this whole collapse of this whole recent collapse. In 1988, they imposed Basel I, the first capital requirement, and at that time, the Japanese banks were the biggest creditors in the world. The Japanese economy was booming, and the banks were huge, and so the Bank for International Settlements raised the capital requirement a mere 2%, from 6% to 8%. But because the Japanese banks didn't have it, they froze. So that just killed the Japanese banks, and they actually were nationalized, although they didn't use that term. But that was the only way they could keep them alive. So Japan has never recovered from that. But we avoided it. Our Wall Street banks avoided it by getting into this whole securitization thing, where the banks would bundle up loans and sell them off to investors.
Well, they didn't just survive; they got more power. That was their next phase to economically destroy the West.
Right. Well, then when they no longer were even going to have the loans on their books, they didn't care what was in these loans, because it wasn't going to be their problem. So they were doing subprime. Any borrower that walked in the door, they would sign them up because they churned the loans, got fees. And
then they sold those as AAA rated, certifying pure garbage. This has been an amazing interview. I look forward to having you back on in the future. Ellen Brown, people can find out more at ellenbrown.com, or they can go to webofdebt.com. Of course, our websites are infowars.com and prisonplanet.com. But in the last 30 seconds, how long do you think it'll be until they fully implode the U.S. publicly?
Well, I'm hoping that what we need to do is set up our own independent credit system, and then we can avoid that. If we set up a better mousetrap, then we can let all the big banks and the derivatives team, et cetera, collapse, and we will have our own funding mechanism. That's my hope.
You know what? Do a minute or two on the other side with us. I want to ask you that question about are other states looking at the Bank of North Dakota model?
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 Sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
They went after Ron Paul in 2007, 2008, saying he was a racist with no evidence, just made up. And now they say if you're against government health care, you're a racist, or you want sovereignty, you're a racist. And it's not going to work with Rand Paul, but the neocons are attacking him. Rachel Maddow is attacking him. We've got a key article up at prisonplanet.com by Steve Watson. Desperate establishment launches baseless racist attack on Rand Paul. But going back to a final comment from Ellen Brown, lawyer, author, and researcher on the banking system worldwide. Just real fast, because the show's almost over and we appreciate your time. Are other states now starting to look at this? Because I'm hearing a lot of talk about the State Bank of North Dakota. I'm hearing a lot of talk about trying to get legislation for the states to save themselves. We know the states have a big appetite for 10th Amendment, 9th Amendment powers right now, and there's a big awakening. Are we seeing any movement towards other states setting up their own banking system?
Yes, yes, there are actually 5 states that have bills pending. 3 of them with full-blown bills, that talk about where they're going to get capital deposits, and that would be Michigan, Illinois, and Washington State. And then 2 other states that are proposing to study such a bill. And then there are 3 other states besides that where they've discussed it in the legislature, and they're talking about doing bills. And there are 8 candidates from all different persuasions. I think there's 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 2 Greens, and 1 independent that are all including it in their platform.
So this is really starting to gain steam thanks to your work and others out there. Let me guess, the Federal Reserve lobbyists are against this.
I really haven't heard anyone be against it. I did see one objection in the Detroit News. Somebody said that Detroit didn't have $150 million, which is what they were proposing for their capital base. But that's what I started to say about that CAFR money, the Comprehensive Annual Financial Reports, the Rainy Day Fund. You could tap up that money as your capital base, even though you can't spend it. You can invest it. So you could invest that money as capital in a bank. Or pension funds, they invest in equities, stock equities, so they could do it. Joseph Stiglitz said that $700 billion that was put up for bailing out the banks, what they should have done was use that $700 billion as the capital for a bank, and they would have $7 trillion in credit.
Yeah, but that gives people control of their own lives and makes government sovereign, and we don't want that. And, of course, he's a 2-time Nobel Prize winner, one of the prizes for economics. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alex.
You bet. Yeah, we're slaves of the bankers, and there's a global rebellion, an awakening happening against these people. And they'll distract you with the Republican, Democrat, black versus white, all this other stuff. They'll make movies like Machete to glorify race war, to try to get us fighting with each other and paint it as liberal. It's nothing but divide and conquer. And clearly, the people are now beginning to understand that we better defeat the New World Order or none of us have any future. These people are ruthless, and they're not going to back off. And stock markets are plunging. The global financial crisis right now is even worse than what was happening 2 years ago. It's a continuation of the same thing. I want to say great job to the crew today. We'll be back tomorrow live, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to remind you we have the online video bookstore with all the great films, books, materials, and your purchase also makes the show possible. And I want to thank a final sponsor here at the end, purewaterfreedom.com. If you want to affordably remove fluoride from your tap water, visit purewaterfreedom.com. They have a full line of household fluoride filters. You can even remove fluoride from every water source in your home with a whole house fluoride system. They have a wide variety of filters to remove all types of toxins from your water, including shower and bath. All their filters are made in the USA. Go to Infowars.com to click on their banner, or PureWaterFreedom.com to take control of your water supply today. PureWaterFreedom.com. Thanks to everybody. We're got a fighting chance. Big victory with Rand Paul. Spectre falling. Thank God. We should all be rejoicing. We're winning a battle. We're going to win the war.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.